As a web developer, I've been on web development for the last 6.5 years, and right now I'm working as a technical lead in an MNC on an AngularJS project, and I've been on AngularJS for more than 1.5 years. I'm fully on an accounting application, like fully most of the AngularJS features we are using, and most of the complications, say, integrating with the jQuery, we are converting from Flex to Angular. Complications we are handling. So most of the things, I have some parts I have touched almost all of the. So from that experience only I am giving you this overview session. So I can, before starting to give a demo, I will just give you an outline of what I'll be covering as a complete course, what you will be getting from this course. So basically what we'll be covering is so you will be having may I know what is your background, what is your JavaScript knowledge?
Hello.
I know the basics of JavaScript. Sometime back I worked in a small project, but
so you know jQuery, you have worked on jQuery and all?
yeah.
Okay. So basically you have some basic idea on JavaScript is what you're saying, right? Okay. Good. So so then actually normally what I will do is I will be before going to AngularJS, what we will be covering is why AngularJS or any other client-side frameworks. There are several frameworks like Backbone.js, Ember.js. There are several client-side JavaScript frameworks are available. So first we will be touching base on why any of these frameworks came into picture, or what is the importance of these frameworks, using the frameworks rather than directly putting some JavaScript. Both are same only, anyway JavaScript. So I'll be starting in that perspective, why any of these frameworks are important or came into picture from the history. So earlier we were using only the jQuery side. So from that jQuery perspective and how we came to the AngularJS or any other framework side, we'll be starting with that. So then from that, we will put a foundation there. From that, I will be just giving a concept on why from that several frameworks, what is the benefits of AngularJS, or what kind of applications AngularJS is important or very useful. I'll be giving that idea on that. So this is after the concepts, actually mostly it will be a hands-on course actually. So we will be building an application together. That is while giving the class itself, I'll be giving the concepts, actually the main concepts, and after that we will be building an application also. So the main concepts of AngularJS we'll be covering is, first of all, we'll be starting with the controllers and how the controllers we can be using, and how it can be different ways how to communicate, and we'll be showing in controllers, and then we'll be going to the directives. The directives will be there are two, one is built-in directives given by Angular is there, built-in directives. So we'll be first seeing how the built-in some directives, how it is structured and how we can use them. Then we will see how to create some our own custom directives. So in that way you will be more confident. Mostly it is if we know how to create custom directive means we know more. So once we are clear on that one, then we'll be moving on to the services part. So we'll be assisting based services or factories that are conceptually same. So we'll be understanding more about services, and since by the time we are doing controllers and directives, we will have already we will be starting with an application. So this will be a hands-on. So whatever controllers and directives we'll be creating, we'll be doing it a CRUD application. We'll be creating a CRUD application. A basic form with a normal some creation, updation, deletion, everything will be there. In that, how to integrate service and factory to make it better, we'll be seeing that. So we'll be one by one, we'll be seeing how to improve the application which we are building by understanding all these items. And then we will be seeing how to, with the modules. So we will be seeing with the modules how we will be packaging, how we will be going to the next level, like what all things we'll be doing. Yeah. Then we will be seeing like so when we are learning about services, we will be learning. Then once we are done, we will be learning how to communicate with the backend. So there are like HTTP calls are there. So how to make HTTP calls to communicate with the backend to get the data. So we'll be using some JSON files, how to read the JSON files, and even we will be seeing like we'll be using some Node backend or something to show you like how to make a REST API calls. So and how to call, how to deal with the REST API backend is another one. So how to deal with the REST API backend, that will be one another thing. So once we are done with means this, once these much parts are covered, you would have created a complete application. With this application, then we will be seeing some more advanced topics like how do you add a routing. So instead of showing everything on a single thing, you will be showing in a different partials. So you'll be showing in different partials. So we'll be seeing the partial, how we'll be showing that. Then once this is also done, now the main important thing why AngularJS is beneficial is the testing. So we'll be doing some unit testing. How unit testing is important, and unit testing with AngularJS is important because of the one of the reason is it is very unit testable. So this is another topic we will be covering. So with that it will be like, so by the time unit testing is done, the whole application will be also adding. So in unit testing we'll be covering Karma, Jasmine, all these things will be covered. This is the course outline what we are going to do. And when we are giving the concepts, there will be like, I'll be giving some ideas about how they will be handling the two-way binding, and how the digest loop or dirty checking, what all things which Angular is doing, exactly is Angular doing. So I'm giving some ideas about the internals also, so that you will have a clear picture of what exactly, even though they are saying magic, I know it's not magic, it's very simple things. What exactly they are doing, I'll be giving some idea on that. So this is how the course structure is. Is this any confusion or any clarifications on this part?
See to practice, hello?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Whatever you are telling, how are you going to practice it? Like,
so
what kind of IDE you use?
IDE, okay. So what are the prerequisites I can tell you? What is the idea I am using is like, I prefer Sublime text editor. Even if you are Notepad, it's also, whatever you prefer, you can do that. There is no any restriction. I prefer Sublime text editor, because that is mostly like I am more comfortable with that. That's why. Because we don't need any special thing, because we are using even Node.js to start the server. So we don't need even an IDE to get any running or anything. So
and what we are going to build? And what we are going to build?
So we'll be basically AngularJS is mostly like useful in a CRUD application. CRUD application means CRUD application is like normally what all is the normal forms will be there, right? Like let's say employee application. So mostly I'll be creating an employee application or something where we'll be listing a list, showing a list of employees which we will be reading from a backend JSON, and we will be editing the same employees, and we will be updating the employees, we will be deleting that employees, and we will be creating a new employee. So that means that fully CRUD application. That is how in that kind of applications is where AngularJS is really useful. So we'll be slowly, once we are learning all these things. So when we are learning controllers, we'll be adding small things like that. We'll be slowly building up that CRUD application. And even unit testing also, we are going to add to the same CRUD application.
But is there any local DB who will be saving all this employee list or all those stuff?
Yeah. So what I am going to do is,
And what about HTML? What about HTML thing?
No,
This,
hello. Hello.
hello.
Yeah, this is Satish. Hello.
yes, Alish. Yes, Alish.
Yeah. Shall I make it this thing using this Eclipse?
Yeah, of course. You can use Eclipse. So whatever you are comfortable, that should be fine.
Yeah.
See, only thing is that, so what I was thinking, like the REST API, whatever REST API backend I was thinking, I can create using the Node.js. So the same thing, only thing is if you are using Eclipse means backend, you might have to do, if you're planning to do Java, then backend you have to do by yourself. Like if
Yes,
you,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Yes,
that is
that's
the
all.
only difference. Yeah. Other than that, it's fine. If Node.js is using, I can create the backend and give that for you. Like what is a backend logic, I can give. Like basically, we just want to mimic the backend, like to show the REST API, right? To update, create, and all. So if Node.js is, I can create that for you. If you think Eclipse and Java, then you might, yeah, like we need a thread operation in the backend. That's it.
Will there be any HTML stuff in this? Like at the end, it is for the websites only.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
So is there any HTML use here? Tags and those things? Because at the end, these are for making websites only, right?
Yes. Yeah, so see, actually what we are going to show is we'll be creating in a web page only, right? We'll be creating a web application only. We'll be showing this like a list of employees in a table, and we'll be doing it in a form. Like that only we can do. It's all in a web page only. So we are going to create a complete CRUD employee web application, right? But you are asking like, is it an advanced HTML features are included or not? Is that what you are asking?
I was asking for this CRUD operation, it should have some logo. So, right? But in the browser, you cannot store anything in the your
No,
computer.
actually, we will not be using like a local DB. What we are going to do is, that's why I said like we'll be using Node.js. Like actually server side part, I mean you don't have to worry about. What I'm thinking is our intention is to learn client side only. So that's why I said like I'll be creating the Node.js completely. Node.js backend. So a backend DB, everything will be created for us. So there will be only the REST API calls we are making. It will be like local means locally the server will be running like that. So in an effect, we are fully mimicking the backend. It's not we are storing anything local. Does that answer your question?
Okay. But this is not going to cover Node.js.
No. We are not going to cover Node.js. I'll be just telling you like how to run in a Node environment. That's it. But Node.js will not be covering. That is not part of this class. But Node.js we are only using to show you REST. Otherwise, I can't show you how to make the post call and all. That is the only thing. So I'll be creating this Node.js whatever is required, and I'll be setting it up, and I will share you that structure before starting the class, so that you can easily, that REST and all will be available. So that only that we need to create the client-side AngularJS application, which our focus is.
Prasanna, like Node.js is a separate 16 hours course, like so that is like if you want to learn Node.js in detail, so you can take it up separately.
Okay. Yeah, because okay.
Maybe after
And
that.
how this works? And how this works actually? This is very new concept for me also. So, like this online training and.
Yeah, actually, now you are attending the same. So similar way, like Jindo trainer will share his screen, right? He will teach you, and if there is any lab sessions, so he will take like he will show the demo, and if he needs any support, even he can take control over your systems, and he can help.
Okay, and this will be for like straight 8 hours per day, or how it is like?
It's a daily 1.5 hour. It's not fully.
1.5 or like 2 days. With like 10 days or something like.
Yes, yes. Jindu, you can continue, Jindu.
I can start with maybe the first one. I will start like maybe like that. Like the initial starting of it. Maybe we can start. That would be better. So like what is AngularJS? We can. I will just start in that concept so that we will get some idea. Okay. Let me just start the application. So basically, before starting to work in Angular, I'll tell you the scenario of how it was already there. So, when
But
we
can
were starting
can you tell me why this Angular came into picture? Because JavaScript was there, then jQuery came. What is the need of such kind of?
Yeah, that is what I am coming to. Yes. So when before like 5 or 6 years before, like we are fully using jQuery, and even before that we were using JavaScript only. That time it was very difficult. Then jQuery came into picture. So when jQuery came into picture, yeah. So this is a typical HTML page I am writing. So when we were writing the jQuery, people were starting. Mostly we were using for slideshow or like some like HTML, some DOM manipulations, just like that only. So basically, from all the logic was on backend only. Like the data all will be coming. The server side will be having all the logic, and the client, the browser, will get all the data. And the browser's data function was only to display that data, and the JavaScript will be used only to show some effects and all, like slideshow or some other alerts, that kind of things only. So it doesn't have any logic. The slideshow doesn't have any particular logic. It is just for showing some effect and animation and all, right? So we were using jQuery for mostly that. So let's say I'm just going to give a typical so let's say a typical jQuery application is like this. So it will be like a $of function. In that, jQuery functions will be writing. This is how mostly you can see in earlier times. Like we'll be using jQuery and we'll be writing all the JavaScript in here. But slowly, later on, what happened is like here, the browser became evolved. Browser is evolved in such a way that so many new features came into picture. Like browser has now storage capabilities, local storage, session storage, so many storage capabilities came. And also in browser, so many other new features came. And browser has like even what jQuery was doing, browser is now able to do directly. Like selector handle is improved, and performance also is improved. And also Ajax came into picture. Ajax means you don't have to refresh the page completely. A small part of the page will be refreshing. Like that, so many features coming into picture, coming into browser, which was not already there. So because of that, people started writing code in JavaScript itself. Like so many logic from server side logic became transferred to, like whatever server logic you were writing, it transferred to client side logic. So earlier, whatever you can see if you have no .NET and all, it will be done in .NET MVC. Also, MVC is a pattern. So like every backend will have some patterns, interfaces, so many things will be there. Because all the logic were in server side. But slowly, all the server side logic started coming to client side. Like the complete code. So it will be like, it's a jQuery code. When we started write, it became like hundreds of lines. So let me show you an example. Let's say you have a div. In that you have a button. So I'm just going to show you a typical jQuery how it was writing. So click me. So in that div ID is equal to some ID, my div or something. So in jQuery, how you will write this? This is old one. It's not at all nothing related with Angular. I'm just show you how it was early. So let's say I am saying like a button click. When I'm clicking a button, what to do? So I will do like this is a typical and it will work also. So I want to alert something. Okay. This is how jQuery it was writing. So people started writing again like this. Even though browser side logic increased, people again started writing it like this way only. But the problem with this is, simply the problem is, if you see the code, it is very good only. But the problem is, let's say, your designer in your project came and changed the div structure. And they changed it like the ID they changed. They didn't know that this functionality is there. Because JavaScript might be in another place, or designer doesn't need to worry about the JavaScript. So he might change it to my div 1. Because of his style changes, he wanted to change it to some ID, div ID another one. So he changed it and your complete code is broken now. You can't do anything on this because your code is broken. So because of that, like what we are understanding from this is, our code is completely coupled with the, tightly coupled with the HTML. So you can see this script, JavaScript is tightly coupled with the HTML. That was a biggest issue with when we are using jQuery only for all the client-side logic. That was the biggest issue because for every small change, wherever this is used directly, everywhere the page can break. You can't touch an HTML once it is done. That is the biggest issue. Second one is, if you start on writing only a single file, like if I am writing every line, it will become like thousands of lines. And these thousands of lines, if you are putting in one single file, and if you, let's say, if you are a new program and someone is asking you to add one more functionality to the click handler, so you to understand where all these click handlers are given, you have to go through the complete source code. You will not be able to even understand where all this is used. Or let's say in another scenario, there is some issue happening on a click handler. Let's say in this click, some issue is there. In jQuery, I can write click handler in 10 places. So you might have written a click handler in 10 places, and you don't even know where this issue is coming. So you have to go through each click handler and put a breakpoint there and find it out. So it became very messy. It was very difficult to handle. So people were like, when it was slideshow, it was very easy. When you wanted to do only slideshow, it was very easy. You can just select an element .slideshow. It will give a slideshow. But with this client-side logic coming into picture, jQuery was not at all able to handle this. We wanted a separation. We wanted separation from the view and the JavaScript. And also we want to separate the JavaScript itself into separate files or separate components based on its functionality. That is where this client-side frameworks coming into picture. Client-side JavaScript frameworks. So like you can see Backbone.js. Backbone.js is also following an MVC pattern. So MVC in a way like model view controller. Model view controller. So all the view is the HTML. So the view is being for the view and there is a model. And the controller is for handling all the, let's say you have here click handler, right? The same thing who is doing is controller and the view is the HTML. So the controller will have all the handlers, event handlers. View will be having all the HTML and model will be having all the data. So that means it is completely clearly separated that where each one will be residing. So that you don't have to, if you want to change a view, you don't have to worry about the structure or anything. You can even create 10 different structures based on the same model. So let's say you have a mobile view and you have a web view, desktop view. So for each one you want to have separate HTML. You can create that, no problem, because your model is completely separated and your controller will handle the logic anyway. That is one thing. So in Ember.js and AngularJS, all these things are coming. Now, why AngularJS is this part clear? Whatever I am saying.
Yes.
So, along with this, from this, you can see frameworks are keep on coming every day. So many frameworks are there. Now React.js is there. So many new frameworks are coming every day. So, what is the importance of good things about AngularJS? So, why we are using AngularJS other than Backbone.js? So, in every scenario, it may not be the good choice. There are some scenarios where AngularJS is good. So some of the things like you can see here, Backbone.js means if you see Backbone.js, it is their minimum framework. It is not. It is just giving the MVC only. It is not giving other than that. Let's say in your MVC model controller, you can create as a you are able to separate it as model view controller, but if you want to keep it as separate files itself, then you want to require that file. There are some concepts like it. You want to inject this from other file, or you have to set up that this particular controller has dependency on like a model 1, model 2, or a service 1. Like that, some other dependencies are there. But to define that, you will not be able to do it Backbone.js directly. So you need some extra third-party libraries for that. And if you want to add testing, you want to add some third-party libraries. If you want to do some other like templating, you want some third-party library. So like this, if you are you are mostly on performance and you know how to do that and you want fully customization, you can use Backbone.js. Because Backbone.js is like a 100% customization. They will give the bare minimum model view controller, and then it's fully like your own customization. You will add libraries which you are comfortable with or which you prefer, and you will be including that to Backbone.js, and you will do that. Comparing to Ember.js, another one. Ember.js, another popular one. Ember.js, first of all, the problem was like the concept they came from was still different, and they kept one good things are like they kept data as different, like the data and all the logic are completely different itself. That and all is good, but two things Ember was not that much good is like the two-way binding or handling with the Angular, like the templates, it was not that much simple actually. If you see in Ember.js and comparing to AngularJS, AngularJS is comparatively very easier than Ember.js, because once you get the concepts, AngularJS is very simple because everywhere we are following the same thing only. And second thing is Ember.js also the testing. You have to do some other third party. It means it doesn't come in its own. So if you see all this, AngularJS, the main thing is it comes as a package. Complete package it is. Like if you want to, like let's say in your organization, if you want to do something, when you are choosing AngularJS, then you don't have to worry about any other libraries, because it is having all the features like testing is there, dependency injection is there, all the separation of things are like modules are there, service are there. These are all, it is all available with us. Along with the MVC, it is also like kind of an MVC pattern. Along with that pattern, it is giving you all these features extra and some built-in directives it is given. So the built-in directives is actually a powerful feature of Angular. That is like to a static HTML you are adding dynamic features. Like let's say, I will just give you a concept so that when we are going, so let's say you want to create your own button. So you can just create a button like this, my button, and this will be like only your own component. So it's like you are changing the HTML. So button as such is like just a button element, or let's say this div, my div you are adding, and here also my div. So now it is not a div element, it is some another element which you have created and which is a dynamic thing. This itself is, you can add some dynamic functionality, right? So that means HTML as such is a static document. To a static document, you are adding some dynamic functionalities to the page. That is the like a powerful like feature of an Angular, so that you can create any directives and you can use it like any 10 number of places. You can use it everywhere and same functionality will be there available everywhere. So you can use it as like your own that is a feature of Angular. So with this all these features, AngularJS so normally if you want to create and two-way binding, that's a very important thing. Two-way binding is also not handled by all plugins. So with this all features, Angular is like very apt for like a CRUD application kind of thing, form kind of thing. Like normally a single page application where most of it is like a form filling or some data analysis, that kind of most of this you can see in the corporate areas, most of the applications you can see that kind of applications will be. In that kind of scenario, AngularJS will be a best suitable fit. Okay, so that is where the AngularJS is the importance or features of Angular. Any confusion on this part?
No.
Okay. So, Madan, you want me to cut or? So these are some features you can see like it's a point by point it is given. So again, why extensibility and all, I told like first of all you can see the HTML and all, it's clearly separated. But instead of every every framework is the feature. A declarative user interface. So with Angular you are getting a very powerful thing like first is, let's say I told you like my div. I can create an HTML in such a way that I can create my own component. Second is I have several built-in directives or anything. I can say like, let's say I want to repeat several items because of some model, some users, user in users. So then I will say user.name. So you can see that it is a declarative HTML. I just created one LI, but this LI will be let's say 10 users are there in your model. This LI will be created, 10 LIs will be created, and the particular model's username will be shown in the LI every time. So seeing the HTML itself, it is pretty understandable that what you are doing. Seeing the HTML itself, you will be able to understand. That is declarative HTML, user interface. And the data models are plain old JavaScript. Like it's if you know JavaScript, then the concepts, you have to be very thorough on the JavaScript. If you are thorough on that JavaScript, AngularJS is nothing, because AngularJS internally itself, in the source itself, they are doing all the plain JavaScript prototypes and the inheritance, that only they are doing internally also. AngularJS source code itself is like that. Same way, if we want to do something, we will be creating the plain JavaScript only. So if you know JavaScript, that's it, most of the things. Other than directives and little bit scope and all, other than rest JavaScript objects. And you will be adding behavior. This I shown you, like you can create your own components like myDiv. So you are adding a functionality to the HTML with this directives. And filters are there. Filters is like you will be able to format some text. Currency formatting is there. Like you want to show some number as a currency, you just need to add a currency. Let's say you have a number like 10 and you want to show it as a currency. You just need to use the currency filter. Then it will be shown like $10. Like that. It will be shown like this, so you are not worrying about how to change or anything. You automatically set the like it will set it as that format because of this filter. So you just need to add this in the page. So it's very easy to use any functionality in this thought. And so that because of that you have to write very less coding. And communication, unit testing ready, service provider and DOM manipulation. So DOM manipulation or unit testing, DOM manipulation we already see, like you will be, if you want to do some DOM manipulation, you will do in MyDew and you can create your own custom things. And communication also, you can specify which to where, like that you will be specifying, like the communication can be very easy, like you can create very independent things, directives and all. So there will not be any tightly coupling. So that also again depends on how you structure your application. Even Angular also, you can make your code in such a way that it's tightly coupled, but you will write code in such a way that we will be learning in such a way that independent and is very scalable. So you will be seeing the best practices how to do that. So going through the best practice also, whatever application you creating in the best correct way only, which is being actually, which is what even we are also following in our whatever application we are writing. The same thing we will be covering.
So
Yeah.
it's single page application.
Yes.
Do you write
It is, yeah, it is not like only for section, but the usage of Angular is it's more performing in single page application. If you
So
have
when you say single, you have just one HTML file.
yes, an HTML and over partials, HTML and partial pages or templates, several, one HTML and it will have several partial pages. It will be like this. So means one, you can see like even Gmail is kind of a single page application, right? Once you log into Gmail, you are not going to do anything else in the same interface only, right? Every time you will be in the same interface and you don't need to go to another page, but you have several things going on.
So the template is also a JavaScript file, or?
Yeah, template will be, this will be HTML actually. This will be, templates pages will be HTML, but this also will be HTML, but this will not be a complete HTML. Means it will not have a head tag, body tag and all. It will only be having the content.
But the extension is HTML for these templates and
yes, not HTML only. Yes, not HTML. I will show you an example application. So here you can see a partials, you can see add employee, edit employee. Yes. In partial, whatever partials you can see. So you can see here, this are all extension is HTML, but whatever we want, that much only we are writing. We are not. You can see here there is no any HTML page, index to HTML, nothing is there. We have only, so in HTML page if you see, it doesn't. It has only body and the. It has only one div or anything. Other than that, nothing is there in the main page. Every functionality is coming as a separate, small parts. Okay, so everything is this much only. This will be injected to the page based on our routing.
Routing.
Okay. Yeah, that will be covering like once we come to like means there are several topics like that we will be able to do that. You know. See AngularJS side, AngularJS. If you see this one, it's not completely refreshing the page, right? Every time only two things are changing. First is, three things. First is the URL is changing, tutorial/test03 is changing. And here breadcrumbs are changing and the content area is changing. Left side is not, any other part is not updating. Only this area is updating and the breadcrumbs, correct?
Yes.
That is because based on this routing you can say. Like this top URL is changing, that is based on that route, we will say that is route, route or URL routing. So based on that route, it will fetch that title for that particular route, and it will fetch the content for that. Yeah. So I think we will start for today for now. Stop for this today. Any other particular questions you have for the training?
So this training covers like whatever website you are doing, we are going to upload into some server or something. Actually make it.
We don't need to upload. We will be doing it in a local server itself.
Okay, in my laptop, like.
Yeah, in your laptop you can run a local server, right? So in that itself you will be doing.
And I have a Mac.
Uh-huh.
I have a Mac, so it's okay, right? Like,
Yeah, that is pretty fine because Node.js works in everywhere. I will send that Madan will send that all the prerequisites, what are things to be needed and what to be installed. So you can
because somewhere I've written you need a Windows laptop something.
No, nothing like that. So because we are focusing Node.js means you can see when you are installing. If you go to it's all, even for Mac there's a separate install reset. You just need to install that. Okay. For Windows I'll do this one. For you have to do this. You have to install Node.js and Node.js, install this, and then what you have to do, some commands you have to enter. Once you are done with that, you will be able to do. So it is nothing. It's not.
So when you say install Node.js, it's installed in my local server, like.
Yes, in your laptop only. Yes.
Okay.
As any other software we are installing, same way. We are just installing is this one and this Node.js. That's it. Since we need to create a backend and some node modules are required, like that.
Okay, so I have to go through this, like, first.
Yeah, Madan will send you the prerequisites, so you can just go through that step by step and you can be ready.
Okay.
Any other thing?
Satish, what about you?
So how
Hello.
Guys, we will send you. We'll contact you soon. Like, so we'll inform you the batch timing and other. Our marketing team will get in touch with you.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for joining in the morning. So thanks for the time. Shall we end the session?
Thanks for the demo. Yeah, sure. Thanks for the demo.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.